let's talk about Milton, because we have a really quiet weather pattern here, and we have a lot of loved ones down in Florida. You might even have your own property down into Florida, and so we want to bring you up to speed. So this is now a Category 4 hurricane. Yesterday at noon, this became a Cat 5, and so one of the quickest, rapidly intensifying tropical systems we've ever had on record. So it's weakening to a Cat 4, which don't let the word weakening fool you, because this is still a monster, a major hurricane. But it's these outer bands that are pushing inland of the Yucatan Peninsula, hitting Cancun, that's slowing down the speed a little bit, but still sustained winds at 155 miles per hour. This will regain strength as it heads into the Gulf today before making landfall in Florida tomorrow. So we have tropical storm and hurricane watches and warnings draping the peninsula of Florida, especially those hurricane warnings on the Gulf Coast. But you also have hurricane watches along the Atlantic coast, because we anticipate hurricane force winds to be on the Atlantic side. You'll see what I'm talking about here. Let's put this into motion. So 155 mile per hour winds becoming a Cat 5 later today, going into early tomorrow. Then that will track right towards Tampa. The latest track has that into the Tampa Bay region, down towards Bradenton, Sarasota. Then as this pushes across the peninsula, you can see still possibly major hurricane force winds on the Atlantic side, just east of Orlando. And then that'll push off into the Atlantic as we head into the weekend. And then it will weaken out into the Atlantic Basin. So as we look at the Milton storm surge forecast for Tampa, Bradenton, the storm surge could be upward of 12 feet. You go down towards Fort Myers, about 9 to 12 feet. And then as you get down towards Naples, about 9-foot storm surge. So even if they're not in the eye of the storm here, that storm surge could be catastrophic. So what is storm surge? Because for those of us in Michigan, we don't deal with that. So let's dive into the details. That's the abnormal rise of water over and above the predicted tide levels. So when you get the really low pressure with a hurricane and the strong winds that come with a major hurricane, that's going to push this farther inland, and that water could rise 20 feet or even higher, and that's going to have devastating impacts on the infrastructure as it will engulf homes. Then you're going to add a ton of rain with this system. And so right now, latest models putting Bradenton and Tampa above a foot of rain on top of the storm surge. The infrastructure just can't handle that amount of water. So right now, as we bring it back closer to home, we have to be very thankful for our calm forecast. We're in the 40s across the board. It's a chilly start, but seasonal. As we look at your bus stop forecast for today, 53 by 10 a.m., mostly sunny skies and hitting 67 for that afternoon high. Little breezy this afternoon, gusts close to 20 miles per hour, but a very similar setup to yesterday, and we'll hold on to a little breeze tomorrow. In the meantime, worth noting, 40 tonight for the overnight low. You get in the outlying areas dipping in the 30s, you could see some patchy frost. Tomorrow, though, 65, mostly sunny, little breezy. And looking at this future forecast, we couldn't ask for better weather for October baseball in Detroit. So tomorrow and Thursday for the Tigers, mid-60s with sunshine. Local 4 game of the week will be a little warmer as we have temperatures in the 70s on Friday.